Joining me now to discuss specifically aid going into the region is Akaash Maharaj, fellow with the Munk School of Global Affairs and Public Policy. Good morning. Thank you so much for being with us. What hurdles or challenges do you see in distributing aid to Gaza, in Gaza?
That is the primary challenge for the next few days. The Netanyahu government has agreed to allow up to 600 trucks to enter the Gaza Strip per day for the next 5 days, rising daily until it meets a threshold that was agreed in January of this year. However, there remains significant mistrust between the government of Israel and international agencies that have the capacity to deliver that aid, and in particular, mistrust between the Netanyahu government and United Nations agencies. Still, the trucks are flowing, and some of the aid is reaching people. There are questions about how those trucks can reach them, whether there will be adequate numbers of distribution points. Those are all serious logistic concerns, but the important thing is that the aid is now moving into the region and people have a chance at surviving. As we speak, there are about 470,000 people in Gaza who are facing what is classified as catastrophic levels of hunger. Many of those people will, despite the arrival of aid, perish from malnutrition and from untreated medical conditions. But at least the shooting has stopped.
Right. It will be too late for some people. Now, Reuters is reporting this morning that, according to Israeli officials, they will start to reduce the flow of aid and the Rafah border will remain closed. This came after Hamas did not hand over the bodies of all of the deceased hostages. What does that say to you about the fragility of the ceasefire agreement?
It shows that we can take nothing for granted. Hamas has handed over, as your report indicated, the 20 living hostages. The bodies of 4 more have been turned over, and 24 corpses remain unrepatriated. It's likely that many, perhaps all of those remains are beyond the reach of Hamas. Either they are in territories that are currently held by the government of Israel, or that Hamas has lost track of them. How the government of Israel responds to pleas from Hamas that it cannot return the bodies, if that proves to be the case, will be one of the early questions that will have to be resolved. It's safe to say that there is, again, profound mistrust between the Israelis and the Palestinians, which means that the Netanyahu administration is likely to believe that when Hamas says it cannot do something, what it really means is that it will not do that. But for all this, the repatriation of the remains of those 24 hostages, as difficult as it may be, is the least difficult of the issues that remain before us. Starting next week, the question of how will Hamas be demilitarized? How will it, put in the words of the agreement, put its weapons beyond practical use? That remains completely unresolved or undecided. There is, in fact, no mechanism described in the peace plan about how Hamas will hand over those weapons, who will take receipt of them, whether they will be destroyed or held by a third party, and who will be involved in the verification of that process. It's a monumental undertaking.
And Hamas does not seem to want to do that, which is also a major issue, Akaash.
Yes, it is. It would be folly for anyone who's observing this process to believe that any of the actors involved in this conflict is willingly going to give up power. Hamas is now 19 years into a 4-year term of office in the Gaza Strip. They've maintained their power through a combination of terrorism, brutality, and cancelled elections. They've cancelled those elections in the full knowledge that, given the opportunity, the Palestinian people would vote them out of office. On the other side of the coin, for the Netanyahu administration, the coming of peace is perhaps the single greatest threat to Netanyahu's grip on the premiership of his country. Netanyahu is wildly unpopular in Israel, and indeed, prior to the Hamas assault on Israel, Israel was seeing the largest protest in its history against his leadership. The vast majority of Israelis are hoping that Netanyahu will stand down, and they intend to vote him out of office if he does not do so. As a result of this, both the Netanyahu administration and the Hamas administration have every political interest in sabotaging this peace so they can maintain their grip on power. To say that this peace is fragile is an understatement.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that neither Hamas or Israel represented at that conference in Egypt led by President Trump. Akaash Maharaj, he's a fellow at the Munk School of Global Affairs and Public Policy. Really appreciate your time with us this morning. Hope to speak with you again.